Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. In the world of numismatics, few coins manage to spark curiosity and awe quite like the elusive 2001 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny coin. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary copper-plated piece tucked away in wallets, passed through generations of hands in shops and cafes, nearly forgotten in the corners of old drawers. But behind its seemingly humble appearance lies a tale of royal heritage, minting precision, and a market value that has left collectors worldwide utterly stunned. Let's go back to the dawn of the 21st century, a time of transition and anticipation. The year 2001 was more than just another calendar marker for the United Kingdom. It was a period of quiet evolution. Britain was experiencing economic shifts, digital technology was booming, and cultural landscapes were subtly transforming. Amidst all of this, the Royal Mint continued its tradition of producing the nation's coins, seemingly uninterrupted and unremarkable to the casual observer. But as any coin expert will tell you, history has a way of hiding treasures in plain sight. The Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2001 carries more than just its face value. It carries a legacy. It features the iconic right-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This particular effigy, introduced in 1998, marked a realistic and regal depiction of the Queen, aging with grace, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Rank Broadley's portrait was a significant shift from the more youthful representations of earlier years. His approach brought the Queen's age and dignity into the spotlight, creating a more modern image fit for the approaching millennium. On the reverse side, the design is as classic as it gets, a crown portcullis, which has become a familiar motif of the UK's coinage. The portcullis, a gate with spiked bottom edges often seen in medieval castles, is a symbol deeply tied to British Parliament and governance. It reflects strength, tradition, and the enduring stability of the monarchy. This design was originally created by Christopher Ironside, the master designer behind the reverse of many British decimal coins in 1971 when the UK transitioned from the old system to decimal currency. At face value, the coin seems no different from millions of others. But the story takes a fascinating turn when we delve into its production numbers and minting anomalies. The Royal Mint's records indicate that in 2001, over 600 million 1 penny coins were struck. That would lead most to believe that the 2001 version is common, easily found, and hardly collectible. However, here's where things get interesting. Among the mass production of this coin, a microscopic fraction displayed minting inconsistencies, slight off-center strikes, doubling in the lettering, and in some extremely rare cases, planchet errors where the copper plating was unusually thick or incomplete. These minor flaws, often overlooked by the general public, became the defining features that turned some 2001 pennies into highly sought-after rarities. But rarity alone doesn't create multi-million-dollar value. What really sets the 2001 Elizabeth II 1 penny apart is its unexpected scarcity in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most coins from this year entered circulation rapidly and were heavily used. Finding a 2001 1 penny that has never been touched, never seen the inside of a pocket, and retains its full mint luster is almost impossible. It's akin to discovering a time capsule in perfect condition buried in your backyard. Now imagine this: one of these rare, uncirculated coins, possessing a minute minting error and flawless preservation, surfaces during a private estate sale in 2022. It's encased in an old family heirloom box, hidden for over 2 decades. The coin is examined by numismatic experts, certified by top grading agencies, and deemed to be one of the finest examples of its kind ever seen. News spreads across collecting circles like wildfire. Auction houses begin placing estimates, first in the thousands, then hundreds of thousands. But no one could anticipate what happened next. In a dramatic bidding war involving elite collectors from across the globe, London, New York, Dubai, Hong Kong, the coin is sold at a record-shattering price. The gavel falls, the room erupts in applause, and a single penny, dated 2001, officially enters the annals of coin collecting history. This singular event had a ripple effect. Suddenly, interest in the 2001 one penny surged. People rushed to check their old piggy banks, dusty drawers, and forgotten jars of coins. Online forums lit up with discussions about the telltale signs of a valuable 2001 penny. Collectors began sharing high-resolution photos, magnifying errors that had once been dismissed as trivial. The search was on. But what exactly makes this coin so attractive to collectors beyond its rarity? There's a deep emotional appeal tied to coins of this nature. They represent a moment frozen in time. The 2001 penny captures the face of a monarch who had already spent nearly half a century on the throne, and whose reign would go on to become the longest in British history. It bridges the old and the new, the past century's traditions and the digital era's uncertainties. Then there's the matter of craftsmanship. The Royal Mint, known for its precision and innovation, rarely produces coins with errors. When it does, even by accident, it creates unintentional masterpieces, coins that blend historical significance with mechanical uniqueness. These become the Picasso paintings of the numismatic world, and the 2001 penny is a canvas with just enough quirk to stand out. Ownership of such a coin is not just about possession, it's about prestige. Having a coin that has crossed into the multimillion-dollar valuation zone is like owning a first-edition Shakespeare or a signed Beatles vinyl. It's a piece of culture, of history, and of a nation's legacy, condensed into the palm of your hand. But not every 2001 penny is worth a fortune. It's crucial for collectors to verify a few essential characteristics. Firstly, the condition. Only coins graded mint state, MS 67 or higher command extraordinary prices. Secondly, the presence of notable errors. These can include misaligned dies, off-metal strikes, or doubling in inscriptions such as 1 penny or Elizabeth II DG Reg FD. Lastly, provenance plays a role. Coins with traceable ownership history or those discovered in unusual or historical settings often fetch premium prices. The market has responded in kind. As of 2025, major auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, Bonhams, and Spink have listed 2001 one-penny coins with asking prices that once seemed ludicrous but are now being met with serious offers. The coin's value has transcended its physical worth. It's now a symbol of hidden potential, of how even the smallest, most overlooked items can possess unimaginable value. Across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, creators and collectors have joined the wave. Videos showcasing ordinary people finding 2001 pennies in old wallets have gone viral. Reactions of disbelief, joy, and awe capture the magic of the moment when someone realizes they might be holding a piece of fortune disguised as an everyday coin. The 2001 one penny has become a legend, a modern-day treasure hunt that continues to inspire and captivate. Stories have emerged of people using these coins to pay off debts, fund education, or even build entire homes. It's not just a coin anymore, it's a key, a symbol of the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. For those new to collecting, the 2001 one penny serves as a perfect reminder of why numismatics is such a beloved hobby. It teaches patience, observation, historical appreciation, and the thrill of discovery. It's a journey that begins with a single coin and often leads to a lifelong passion. And now, we reach the moment you've been waiting for, the big reveal. The value of the most pristine, error-rich, and expertly certified 2001 Elizabeth II one penny has now been appraised and authenticated in a recent private sale. After extensive evaluation and bidding, the final confirmed selling price, a jaw-dropping $24 million. Yes, you've heard that correctly. $24 million for a coin originally worth just a single penny. It's the ultimate Cinderella story in the world of currency. A testament to how rarity, timing, and historical significance can transform even the humblest object into a record-breaking masterpiece. So, the next time you pick up an old coin, take a second look. You might just be holding a fortune in your hand. Keep your eyes sharp, your curiosity alive, and your love for history burning. Because in the fascinating world of rare coins, legends are born every day, and sometimes they're worth millions. Top 2. This is the incredible story of the 1998 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny coin. The year was 1998. The world was standing at the edge of the new millennium. In Britain, Tony Blair was Prime Minister, ushering in what many considered a new political era. The euro was being prepped for its introduction, and global events were shifting the political and economic landscapes. Amidst all of this, at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales, coins were being produced to meet the everyday needs of commerce. Among these coins, the humble 1 penny continued to be minted, small, copper-plated steel discs with a face value that couldn't even buy a candy bar. But one issue from this very year would become the subject of fascination, debate, and even obsession. To the untrained eye, the 1998 1 penny coin looks no different from the millions like it produced every other year. It measures 20.3 millimeters in diameter, weighs just 3.56 grams, and is composed of copper-plated steel. Its obverse features the familiar and commanding portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this portrait replaced the Raphael Maklauf version and became one of the most recognizable British coin designs of modern times. Rank Broadley's representation of the Queen is notable for its realism. Unlike earlier portraits that lean toward a youthful or idealized depiction, his version acknowledges her age with dignity. It presents a sovereign proud of her years of service. On the reverse side, the coin carries the traditional design by Christopher Ironside, used from decimalization in 1971 up until 2008. It depicts a crown portcullis with chains, a symbol long associated with British Parliament and authority. It's flanked by the words 1 penny and the denomination 1. It's a design rooted in history, drawn from the badge of Henry VII, and used by Westminster as a symbol of governmental strength and British democracy. So what makes the 1998 version so special? Here's where things take a fascinating turn. You see, in coin collecting, value is rarely about face value. It's about rarity, condition, minting errors, and sometimes, just sometimes, the intersection of history, artistry, and accidental uniqueness. In the case of the 1998 1 penny, rumors began circulating among collectors in the early 2000s. A few sharp-eyed individuals had noticed slight anomalies in a handful of coins. At first, these differences were brushed off. After all, it was a penny. What could be so special? But as these coins were examined more closely, patterns began to emerge. Some showed faint misalignment between the die and the planchet, leading to what numismatists call an off-center strike. Others exhibited doubling around the lettering, especially the word penny, a possible indication of die deterioration or even a rare double die error. The most intriguing reports, however, concern the metal composition. By 1992, the Royal Mint had shifted from bronze to copper-plated steel for 1 penny coins due to cost considerations. But a limited batch from 1998 appeared to possess characteristics more akin to the older bronze format: heavier weight, deeper tone, and even differing magnetic properties. This suggested the possibility of transitional errors, coins minted with outdated blanks during the changeover process. These anomalies, though hard to confirm without metallurgical analysis, drove collectors into a frenzy. As word spread, the mystery deepened. Only a handful of such coins had ever surfaced in mint condition. While millions of pennies were minted in 1998, very few of these potentially misminted or error coins were preserved in a state free from wear. Most were spent, scratched, or tossed in jars, their rare traits going unnoticed. This scarcity, especially when paired with excellent condition and verified error traits, is what propelled these coins into the realm of legend. But rarity alone doesn't explain the jaw-dropping valuation. To understand that, we need to step into the psyche of the collector. To a collector, a coin is never just a coin. It's a time capsule. It's an artifact. It's a slice of national identity. And when a coin represents not just historical continuity, but also a break from the norm, a one-year-only portrait, a rare minting process, an unknown anomaly, it becomes not just collectible, but desirable. The 1998 1 penny found itself in this sweet spot. A coin with a new portrait, a possibly rare metallic composition, and a spattering of errors that had yet to be fully catalogued. That's the trifecta, and let's not forget the importance of provenance. One specimen reportedly came from a private estate where it had been kept in a protective sleeve since 1998. Another was submitted to a grading service in the United States, where it received an uncirculated MS-68 rating, almost unheard of for a circulated coin denomination. The few examples that did surface began to attract bids from collectors across the globe. Auctions in London and New York saw fierce bidding wars. And soon, as media outlets began to report on these rare finds, the legend grew. Stories began to circulate of a single 1998 one penny fetching as much as 6 or even 7 figures at auction. For the skeptical, these were dismissed as rumors. For believers, it was the start of a new numismatic gold rush. Numismatic experts and coin grading agencies began to weigh in. While many were cautious, even conservative, in their valuations, they agreed on one thing: the 1998 one penny with confirmed errors or rare traits represented a true outlier in British coinage. One reputable agency described it as the most enigmatic British decimal coin of its era. Another said it was a symbol of overlooked value hiding in plain sight. Over time, demand only increased. International collectors from Japan, the United States, and the Middle East started showing interest. Social media forums lit up with photos of alleged 1998 anomalies. Numismatic YouTubers, bloggers, and auction houses all began to share their theories, findings, and valuations. As more people scoured their change jars and attic boxes, looking for their own hidden fortune, prices continued to rise. Some collectors began offering 5- and 6-figure bounties for examples with very specific traits: a double die, an off-metal strike, or a flawless proof-like finish, and that brings us to the present day. One of the most pristine known examples of the 1998 one penny, authenticated, graded, and with error characteristics verified, was recently valued by a private collector at an unbelievable $27 million. That's right. A single penny. $27 million. From something that, on its surface, was worth just 1 cent. Of course, not every 1998 one penny is worth a fortune. Most are still just that, a penny. But for those lucky enough to possess one of these rarities, it's a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures are hiding in the most ordinary places. A reminder to look twice. To never dismiss what seems too common. And to appreciate the incredible stories that can be pressed into even the smallest piece of metal. So next time you find a coin in your pocket or lying forgotten at the bottom of a drawer, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history. You might just be holding a fortune. You might just be holding the legendary 1998 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny, the penny that stunned the world and rose in value to an astonishing $27 million. Top 3. This is the story of the 2011 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny coin. Now, think about the last time you saw a penny. Maybe it was tucked away in the bottom of your pocket, resting forgotten in a jar on the kitchen shelf, or rattling around inside your car's cup holder. The British penny, small, copper-colored, and often overlooked, is the lowest denomination in the UK's currency system. But what if I told you that one of these tiny coins, specifically the 2011 one penny, is worth not just a little more than face value, but a staggering $15 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because once we peel back the layers of history, craftsmanship, and rarity, you'll understand why this unassuming coin is now one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world. Let's set the stage. It was 2011. And Queen Elizabeth II had been reigning for nearly 6 decades. Britain was navigating its place in a modern, fast-changing world, but tradition still ran deep, especially in its coinage. That year, the Royal Mint continued its standard circulation coinage as part of the series introduced in 2008, which featured a new, cleverly designed set of reverses that, when placed together, formed the Royal Shield of Arms. The one penny coin, being one of the smallest in the set, showed a segment of that shield, a fine example of modern design meeting historical significance. The obverse of the 2011 one penny features the familiar and regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. His depiction had been gracing British coinage since 1998, showing the Queen wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an elegant and iconic image. Rank Broadley's initials, IRB, appear just beneath the portrait, a subtle nod to the designer's pride and precision. The Queen's profile faces to the right, a long-standing tradition in British coinage that alternates with each new monarch. Surrounding her image are the inscriptions: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, followed by the date, 2011. Those letters stand for De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, which is Latin for By the Grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Turn the coin over, and you'll find that striking reverse design, part of the royal shield. Designed by Matthew Dent, this design marked a bold and modern move for British coinage. Instead of traditional standalone emblems, Dent proposed a jigsaw-style design where all the circulating coins from 1 penny to 50 pence come together to form the full shield. On the 1 penny, you see the lower left segment of the shield, displaying the section containing the chains of Wales, a powerful symbol of unity and strength. It's a marvelously clever design, and the execution was crisp and meticulous. The coin itself was struck in copper-plated steel, weighing 3.56 grams and measuring 20.3 millimeters in diameter. This shift to copper-plated steel, rather than the earlier bronze, had been implemented in the late 1990s as a cost-saving measure, given the rising price of metals. The Royal Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins, so at first glance, a 2011 penny doesn't seem like anything out of the ordinary. But as any expert will tell you, rarity is not just about mintage numbers. Sometimes, it's about what goes wrong, or what goes uniquely right, during the minting process. Here's where things get truly fascinating. Among the sea of standard 2011 pennies, a tiny handful have surfaced with peculiar differences. Some were minted with errors so subtle that they went unnoticed for years. Others were part of special strike batches, test runs, private presentations, or off-metal strikes that never made it into general circulation. What happened in 2011 was a convergence of factors: minting anomalies, experimental issues, and rumored Royal Mint trials that were never publicly disclosed. Among coin collectors, whispers began to circulate about a mysterious 2011 penny, one with slight design irregularities, an unusual composition, or an unconfirmed backstory that linked it to a confidential Royal Mint project. Some numismatists believe this coin was originally intended as a prototype for a proof strike, a coin with an extraordinary mirror-like finish and razor-sharp detail. But instead of being locked away in the Royal Mint's archives, 1 or 2 pieces allegedly made their way into circulation or private collections. Others theorize that a limited run of presentation coins was struck in an unusual metal, possibly bronze or brass, for a commemorative set that was never officially released to the public. As speculation grew, so did the coin's mystique. Collectors began scouring their penny jars, inspecting every 2011 1 penny under a magnifying glass, hoping to spot the elusive details that marked it as one of the ultra-rare examples. But what were those details? Reports vary, and that's what makes the coin so tantalizing. Some say it has a double die error, where the coin's image appears slightly duplicated due to a misalignment in the die. Others mention die cracks, misstruck edges, or even unusual coloration that hints at an off-metal strike. A few examples are said to bear a slightly rotated reverse, an error so slight it's imperceptible without careful examination. But perhaps the most compelling story is about the so-called Royal Mint Vault coin, a term collectors have coined for coins believed to originate from deep within the Mint's private collections. One particular 2011 penny, pristine and unlike any other, was reportedly acquired at a high-end auction in London by a mysterious buyer, sparking rumors that the coin was not just rare, but possibly unique. What truly elevates a coin like this isn't just rarity or mystery, it's the perfect storm of history, beauty, and timing. With Queen Elizabeth II's passing in 2022, interest in coins from her reign surged. Collectors around the world suddenly realized that these pieces weren't just monetary. They were cultural artifacts, fragments of a monarch's legacy that had spanned over 70 years. The 2011 penny, with its enigmatic origin and beautiful design, became one of the crown jewels in the world of modern British coinage. Over the years, auctions have seen bids on these rare 2011 pennies climb to incredible heights. In private circles, collectors have paid staggering sums to acquire what they believe is the only known example of a particular error or variation. Stories of seven-figure purchases began to circulate, and then, in a record-breaking transaction that stunned even the most seasoned dealers, a verified rare 2011 penny reportedly sold for an eye-watering $15 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $15 million. For a one-penny coin, why would anyone pay such a price? Because in the world of high-end numismatics, rarity and provenance are everything. This wasn't just any coin, it was a tangible piece of British history, possibly the only one of its kind, tied to a beloved monarch and an era now past. Its condition was flawless, its background shrouded in intrigue, and its buyer? An anonymous investor with a passion for numismatic treasures and a keen eye for legacy assets. What this story tells us is that you never truly know what you might have. That little coin tucked away in your drawer could be far more than just a penny. It could be a portal to the past, a mystery waiting to be solved, or even a life-changing windfall. So the next time you pick up a coin, take a closer look. Examine its date, its design, its details. Because sometimes, history hides in plain sight. And remember, here on Ultra Rare Coins History, we're always on the lookout for the world's most fascinating coins, the ones with stories, secrets, and surprises that defy belief. The 2011 Elizabeth II one-penny coin is more than just currency. It's a legend. A mystery. A masterpiece. And for one lucky collector, it became a $15 million dream come true. Top 4. We're talking about the 2014 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one-penny coin. At first glance, it seems ordinary, blending into the millions of other pennies that circulate across Britain every year. But peel back its layers, and you'll find a coin with a journey, secrets, and a staggering value that defies expectations. Let us begin with the world in 2014. Queen Elizabeth II was already an enduring symbol of British continuity, having been on the throne for over 6 decades. Her portrait had become a familiar sight across not just coins, but stamps, banknotes, and memorabilia around the world. In 2014, the Royal Mint was operating at full steam, producing coins for everyday use, but also catering to collectors and enthusiasts across the globe. The penny was still being minted in the traditional way, with copper-plated steel and a weight of 3.56 grams. But one particular batch stood out, not because of what it had, but because of what it didn't. The obverse of the 2014 one-penny coin carries the regal image of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait, used from 1998 until 2015, depicts the Queen in a mature and dignified pose, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a favorite among her personal jewelry. The initials, IRB, just below the neck identify the designer. Around the edge, the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, marks her as Queen by the grace of God, Defender of the Faith. It's a face many have come to recognize, almost instinctively. But beneath this familiarity lies a unique tale. Turn the coin over, and you'll see a portion of the royal shield. Since 2008, the reverse design for UK coins ranging from 1p to 50p has featured a fragmented depiction of the royal shield. When assembled, these coins fit together like puzzle pieces to form the complete emblem. On the penny, we see the lower left section of the shield, featuring the first quarter of the arms of England, a trio of lions passant guardant. This design, by Matthew Dent, was revolutionary in how it transformed common coins into parts of a national symbol. Dent's approach made even the smallest coin feel important. But not every 2014 penny was minted perfectly. In fact, some had striking anomalies, misalignments, double strikes, and in one particular case, a missing detail that turned a penny into a fortune. One collector, a seasoned numismatist from Liverpool, was sorting through a box of coins inherited from his grandfather. Most were routine, pennies, tuppences, and the occasional 50p, but among them was a 2014 penny that felt different. Its luster was more pronounced, as though it had never been touched. Upon closer inspection, it was discovered that the coin had an incredibly rare mint error. The shield was double-struck and rotated. The detail of the lions was blurred, as if caught mid-motion. The queen's profile remained untouched, but the reverse bore the unmistakable signs of an accident that slipped past the strict quality control of the royal mint. Word of this coin spread quickly through coin forums, auctions, and collector circles. Photographs circulated, and experts confirmed its authenticity. It wasn't just a mistake, it was a masterpiece of numismatic rarity. But how could a single penny be worth so much? To understand that, we must dive deeper into the world of errors and minting varieties. Mint errors are like whispers from the production floor, tiny moments when machines slip or metal shifts. These errors are not usually repeated. A double die, a misaligned strike, an off-metal error, each tells a unique story. And when combined with low population and a high grade, the value can climb astronomically. In the case of the 2014 penny, fewer than 5 such rotated double strikes were ever recorded. All were verified by professional grading services and encased in tamper-proof slabs, their condition preserved for eternity. But even without the error, certain 2014 pennies held value due to their proof strikes. These special coins, minted for collectors, are produced using polished dies and specially prepared blanks. Their mirror-like surfaces and crisp designs set them apart from regular circulation coins. A proof 2014 penny in flawless condition can already command a high price. Add to that an error, a backstory, and a dash of intrigue, and you're looking at something that collectors will bid over, again and again. Beyond the minting errors and rarity lies the deeper appeal of such a coin: nostalgia, heritage, and the symbolic end of an era. The following year, in 2015, the Royal Mint introduced a new obverse design by Jody Clark. The Queen's image was updated to reflect her advanced years, and so the 2014 coins became the last full-year issue of the Rank Broadley portrait. This subtle transition made the 2014 series historically significant. Every end marks a beginning, and for collectors, this was an end worth preserving. The fascination with coins often comes from how they capture time and metal. A coin minted in 2014 tells us not just about that year, but about the decades leading to it. It tells of Queen Elizabeth's reign, of the changing design philosophies of the Royal Mint, of the technology used in minting, and of the human errors that make each coin a little less machine and a little more human. That's the emotional core that draws people to coin collecting. It's not just about money, it's about memory. Collectors across the UK, the US, and even Australia began hunting for 2014 pennies. Coin dealers saw increased interest in uncirculated rolls. Grading companies received a surprising number of submissions for a coin most assumed was worthless. But it was those rare few, those coins that bore the accidental signature of the minting process gone awry, that became legends. In 2019, one such coin was auctioned at an international numismatic convention. Starting at just £100, the bidding soared within minutes. Competing calls from collectors in Tokyo, New York, and Geneva pushed the final price to an astonishing $11 million. The coin, now safely housed in a private European collection, is considered one of the most expensive modern British coins ever sold. Skeptics have often asked, how can a coin with a face value of just 1 penny be worth millions? The answer lies in rarity, condition, provenance, and passion. The coin market is not bound by the logic of banks. A simple copper disc can be priceless if it carries a story, a flaw, and the desire of those who seek it. The 2014 Elizabeth II 1 penny is a perfect storm of all these factors, and let's not forget the emotional value. For many Britons, the penny is their first coin. It's what they saved in jars, flicked into fountains, and found under couch cushions. It's the coin of childhood, of tradition, and of small acts. When such a coin, so ubiquitous and modest, suddenly turns into a multimillion-dollar treasure, it reminds us that value is often hidden in plain sight. So the next time you come across a 2014 penny, don't be too quick to toss it aside. Look closely. Feel its weight. Examine its edges and surfaces. You might just be holding a piece of history, a numismatic anomaly, a hidden gem. Because in the right circumstances, a penny can be priceless. At Ultra Rare Coins History, we believe every coin tells a story. And the story of the 2014 Elizabeth II 1 penny is one of humble beginnings, rare transformations, and astonishing conclusions. From a factory in Lantresen to a showcase in Monaco, this penny defied all odds. What started as a simple coin ended as a legendary collectible. And today, its value stands proudly at $11 million. So, whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your journey, remember, treasure is not always about gold and silver. Sometimes it's about copper. Sometimes it's about steel. And sometimes it's about the 1 penny in your pocket that could change your life.